Bravo, you're in trouble, girl. These ratings are on a steady decline. More specifically, the Real Housewives of New York and the Real Housewives of Potomac. But you don't have to worry about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're seeing record high ratings for them. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So we've been following the ratings of the Real Housewives franchise and Bravo overall. And shout out to our friends Bravo Ratings on Twitter, because I saw some really interesting numbers this week. You know, the Real Housewives of New York, they didn't have a new episode, but they did a special where we saw some never-before scenes. And it was quite entertaining. Me and my boy Up and Adam talked about it briefly before we dived into more relevant things to talk about in the Real Housewives franchise. But it should be noted that their ratings, I actually was kind of surprised. They had, let's go to it. So for season 13, episode 18 of the Real Housewives of New York, we get a rating of 542,000 viewers in the demographic 18 to 49. We have to remember that they experienced their lowest rating in New York, Real Housewives of New York history, besides shows episodes like Secrets Revealed and things like that. So it should be no surprise that they had very low ratings for this episode. I was actually surprised at how high it was this episode. The last couple of episodes, they've been in, you know, like the 700,000 people have been watching in that demographic. So I wasn't fully surprised. But what did surprise me was the Real Housewives of Potomac. As you know, the Real Housewives of Potomac, their biggest issue this season is the Eddie rumors and how Giselle Bryant brought it on the show. Well, the ratings, although they started off really high with the premiere episode, it was over 1 million viewers. I reported previously that there was a steady decline. And a lot of you were saying, you know, we'll see the ratings go back up, you know, once they get fully into the drama, which was true. The ratings did go back up. It was just last week, the Real Housewives of Potomac experienced a 1.1 million viewers in the demographic 18 to 49. But this past week's episode fell way below 1 million viewers, with only 878,000 viewers in that same demographic. That's not good. And the fact that Potomac doesn't have reliable ratings is a concern to me overall, and goes back to what some of you have been saying and calling in and saying here on the channel, is that yes, the drama is great. However, we're not getting that light, fun energy from this cast, and that's what we got from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We had shade, we did have some dark moments, but we always had some memorable, comical, shady moments, and I don't think we're getting that from Potomac. And I think that's a really key thing here, and I think that's why people do not consistently tune into Potomac. We are, and we are talking about it, but based on these views, it says to me that people are not consistently viewing Potomac. And Potomac, although people want to say has stolen the crown of Atlanta, can you go back and think of episodes that have stood out to you, or moments from Potomac that have stood out to you that is like, oh, that was an iconic moment from Potomac? There's not a lot. I'm sure you could think of some, but there aren't a lot. But let's talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is doing quite well. Before we get into what they did this week, let's talk about what they did last week. So episode 15 of season 11 of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills scored a 1.222 million viewers in the demographic of 18 to 49. This was just last week. Let's go to the previous week. The previous week, they had a 1.284 million viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic. So they're consistently getting over 1 million viewers. Understandably, we know it's because of this Erika Jayne mess. But as I said before, many times before, it's one thing to have the drama, but will the other housewives play with what they have and make it interesting? They could have easily ignored it and just said, I'm showing support for Erika. This is what it is. We're not going to talk about it. Very much like how they've not talked about Dorit's drama that's been in the news. So I'm not just going to give this to Erika. I'm going to give it to Garcelle and Sutton. I'll even give it a little. No, I can't even give it to Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna, I don't know what's going on with you, but you're the one making the season suck because everyone's looking at you like, Lisa Rinna, what do you know? Why aren't you saying anything? You're always telling people to own it, but you're not owning it. Interesting. But let's talk about this week's episode. So according to our friends over at Ratings Bravo on Twitter, they're saying that this week's episode, episode 16, they scored a 1.285 million viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic. This is a season high. A season high. And based on the trail of what we saw, it seems as if it's going to be even better. And there are dramas going on besides Erika's. We have to remember the Dorit and Garcelle drama. You're welcome, Dorit. You have some drama between. You can thank Garcelle for you having some sort of drama or some sort of storyline this season. I'm still in love with PK. And when I say I'm in love with PK, I'm in love with the fact that he stood up and said what needed to be said in that moment. It seems as if we're going to get more of that later on in the next episode. Either way, these ratings are not consistent across the board. This goes back to the rumors that we've been hearing that Bravo has been having trouble with the Real Housewives franchise overall. Yes, they're still bringing in ratings. We're still talking about them. But does Andy need to get a new job? I'm being dramatic and I'm being facetious. Andy recently posted that he is preparing for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. And very interesting enough, he's not only watching the episodes, he had a Erika Jayne and Tom Girardi article sitting right on his desk. Will he, though, ask the questions that need to be said? And if you need a laugh, go to Twitter and go under the questions for Lisa Rinna and Sarah Paulson that are coming on Watch What Happens Live. You guys are hilarious. You are hilarious. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments in regards to these ratings. What do you think is happening at Bravo, and specifically with the Real Housewives franchise? Why do you think Potomac's ratings are going so up and down? And why do you think that the ratings for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills just keeps going up and up? Is it just because of Erika? Is she the one really carrying the season? Or is it something else? And will this carry on for the next season? Because you know they're going to need something. And if Erika's not there, what are they going to talk about? Guys, as always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.